So I just watched Long Shot, the new Jonathan Levine directed film, starring Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. This isn't a movie that I knew a lot about. I saw that it was getting some good early buzz from the film festival circuit. And I've liked most of Jonathan Levine's work, particularly 50-50. And surprisingly, I really liked this movie The Night Before, which I think is pretty underrated as a Christmas film. I'm just interested to see where this movie goes. The trailer is showing sort of like a romantic comedy, maybe with some political satire elements to it. And the movie does essentially have those elements. It is a rom com, it is a political satire comedy. But it surprised me a lot in certain areas, particularly in the second half of the film. But leading up to that, you have Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is really good at playing the Seth Rogen character. He doesn't have that much range as an actor, but he does a pretty good job of playing this particular character. And Charlize Theron obviously is amazing in most stuff that she's in. So it's interesting to see how that dynamic is going to work. Are they going to have good chemistry? Or are they not? If they don't have good chemistry, how are you going to sit through this 2 hour long comedy? And I'm happy to say that their chemistry does really work. I totally bought it. As for Seth Rogen, surprisingly, as someone who is a pretty big fan of Seth Rogen, I found his character to be somewhat annoying at times in the first half, particularly. But you get to wondering, how is this woman with this much power, who's Secretary of the State, going to fall for this guy? He's acting foolish. It doesn't seem like it would work. But once you dive into the more subtle moments and the more intimate moments between the two characters, you buy into their relationship, or at least I did. Maybe some people won't. I think if you're not a Seth Rogen fan, this isn't going to be the movie that wins you over on Seth Rogen. But as a Seth Rogen fan, it is a pretty decent performance, and the writing is pretty good. Though I have to say there are quite a few jokes that, for me, fall flat completely. This isn't a hysterical comedy. There isn't a lot of laugh out loud moments. But some of the writing is really clever here. I think what I appreciated most is the more political aspects of the film. At times it can seem like it has a political agenda, but in the third act it does something that completely catches me off guard in terms of where it's leaning politically. And I think it has a pretty good message. And I think the film also tackles things that are taboo in our society that I think have no reason to be labeled as taboo. And I found that pretty powerful. And by the end of the movie, you're feeling pretty good. At least I felt pretty good. This is a movie to watch if you don't have anything going on. You want to go out with some friends. You may be turned off by the political agenda aspects, and you may think that it does have a particular agenda, but I don't think it beats you over the head with it. Like I said, the movie likes to view things from all sides at times, while definitely sticking the middle finger, of course, up at people that are just scum. There's people that are scum in every political party. And I think this movie really nails that in a sense. This movie has the unfortunate curse of being the movie that was released the week after Avengers Endgame. So instead of watching Avengers for a fourth or fifth time, I'd say give this movie a chance, especially if you've liked Seth Rogen comedies in the past. And even if you think this might be a Seth Rogen movie going in, I think this is essentially Charlize Theron's movie. She is the most powerful figure in the movie, and she really kills it. I loved everything about her. She was a very likable character, whereas Seth Rogen at times wasn't that likable, but then you see the more intimate moments, and you really buy into it. As for side roles, O'Shea Jackson, showing that yet again he has chops after Straight Outta Compton, and Ingrid Goes West. And other side roles is Andy Serkis, completely unrecognizable as a character that's sort of parroting a figure in a certain news station, owner of a news channel that I'm not going to say. And you have surprisingly Bob Odenkirk. I didn't know was in this movie, and he does a good job too. Overall, it is an enjoyable movie. As for other flaws, aside from Seth Rogen's character traits in the film, I think maybe there's times where scenes go on a little long. You see that in a lot of like Seth Rogen movies, and it's sort of like these Judd Apatow movies where scenes seem to be improvised and they go on a little bit longer to where the joke may have been funny early on, but then by the end it's not that funny. But it doesn't happen that often. Overall, it's a pretty good time and a pretty smart movie story wise. While I didn't think the movie was laugh out loud hilarious, I was always interested in the story and where we were going to go. And I think by the end, there's some pretty powerful and provocative stuff being said there. Yet again, dealing with taboo things that, for whatever reason, are taboo. So if you want to give this a shot, give it a shot. If you want to go watch Avengers again, be my guest. It is the best movie of the year. But as for a studio comedy, we don't get a lot of good studio comedies, and I think this is a good one. And I'm going to give it the generic score that I give a lot of movies that I talk about in this sort of genre, and that is a B plus. The movie completely won me over by the end. I think it is a good time. Let me know what you thought of this movie in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.